Car Sales Talk 101, where it's all about life in the car business. Telling you like it is. Here's the man with the plan, Terry Cameron. Let's get started.
Welcome back to Car Sales Talk 101. I'm Terry Cameron. Thanks for hanging out with me again this week. This week's episode, which just happens to be episode 134, I want to talk about taking time off, taking your well-deserved day off at the dealership. But before we get into that, let me tell you what just happened to me this past week, and maybe it'll make a little bit more sense when I start talking about taking your time off. So last week, I found myself on several days being short-handed, not having enough salespeople. And let me tell you, as a manager, as a general manager, as a dealer, that is the worst position you want to put yourself in. Having too many customers and not enough people to handle them, especially when you're supposed to have enough people to handle them. We weren't actually overrun with customers. We had a steady stream. We just didn't have the people to help them. And I'm sure all managers have been through this, but I had several people out on vacation. I had people with their days off. We've had people that called in sick or for other personal reasons, which we'll talk about in another episode. But personal reasons, really? Well, especially when I think about the way the business is going nowadays, you have to understand that the dealership does not work its schedule around yours. They hired you, they pay you. You have a schedule you are required to follow. You work your schedule around theirs. What I mean by that, I'm off Wednesdays. I've been off Wednesdays probably for the past 30 years, and I schedule my haircuts, my dental appointments, anything else that I need to get done on my day off. Now, if you're not a commissioned salesperson, maybe this doesn't mean so much to you, but it does mean a lot to your customers when they know when to expect you, when they know that, hey, no use going in today because Terry's off today. I only want to deal with him. I'll go back in tomorrow. It's really important that you maintain some sense of a schedule and some sense of a normality. And it's also real important that you do take your time off. Now, one of the first things that most prospective salespeople ask me when they're thinking about getting a car business is just how bad are the hours? I don't think they're bad. The hours are what you make. If that 10, 12-hour day is too much for you, well, maybe you are in the wrong business. But if you take that 10 or 12-hour workday and you actually work 8 or 9 hours of them, you're going to be so satisfied with your paycheck each month, it's going to be ridiculous. You won't even think about the hours. The traditional days of 9 to 5 pretty much are gone, especially if you want to make six figures. The 9 to 5 hours are left to the minimum wage salaried employees, and don't get me wrong, we need people like that, but that's their schedule. They're not going to make six figures working 9 to 5, and either are you. So I let prospective salespeople know that the hours, they may be long until you become a professional, and then you start working your own hours. I've had salespeople that only worked 40 hours a week, but they knew what they had to do during those 40 hours to make that six figures, and they did it. Their customers knew when they were going to be there. Their customers knew when they wouldn't be. The hours of a salesperson, whether you're in a car business or any retail business, is a little bit different than everybody else. Forget about taking holidays off. That's when everybody else is off. That's when they come in to buy cars. That's when they come in to buy boats. That's when they come in to buy furniture. You need to be there to capitalize on that. That's where the money is made. So I keep talking about time off and how you need to be there also. I want you to think about this. I've always looked at it this way, and okay, maybe I'm old school a little bit. I'm in my 31st year in this car business, and it really has changed. But I believe that if you call in sick, then you work your day off. But see, the dealership does not owe you a day off. The company does not owe you a day off. You owe the company 5 days of work each week. And managers, general managers, if you have that salesperson that calls in sick or has personal problems more than once every couple months, you have to understand they are taking advantage of you. You know what? And that's okay, I guess. The problem is that most salespeople don't realize the effect that it has on everybody else. Other salespeople may have to be called in to to cover the customers that you're not there to take care of. The dealership's customers aren't handled properly, and that means you have to have several salespeople trying to handle 2 customers, if not more, at the same time, which takes a special skill set. And I'm not saying it can't be done, but it is a special skill set, and it's not fair to for a customer to come in and not get a salesperson's 100% attention. So, salespeople, if you're not going to come in on your day off, it's going to affect your income. But you also have to understand it's going to affect other salespeople's income, the dealer's income, your general manager's income, and when it comes time to asking for those extra days off, yeah, good luck, especially if you're at my dealership. Now, let's talk about your day off. The title of this episode is, Hey, It's My Day Off. Take your damn day off. If you earned it. What you need to do at the beginning of each month is set your goal and break it down into weeks. And if you're not on pace when your day off comes, you need to make a decision. Do I need to work this week on my day off, or at least until I can sell a car to get me back on pace? Or am I going to suck it up and make it next week? You need to do that. When I got in the car business, I still remember it was 1 week I had half a day off. The next week I got my full day off. And if it was the last week of the month, I didn't get any time off. It was all hands on deck the last week of the month because the dealer's bottom line was more important than anything else. And that makes sense to me. Maybe it didn't back then, but it makes sense to me now, knowing that we've got to make some money to pay the people that work at the dealership, whether you're on salary or commission. It's got to be there, and it's tighter now than it ever was. So what I did back then is, if I was not on pace to hit my goal, then I just didn't take my time off. If I was on pace, I took my time off and I rewarded myself with it. I played golf. I bought something. I did something that I earned. I did something to reward myself for being on pace. You have to understand, if you're not there earning money, it's hurting a lot of people. You have an obligation to the dealership. You have an obligation to your sales team, to your sales manager, and more than anything, you have an obligation to your family to give them the lifestyle that they could have if you actually worked as hard as you're supposed to, and if you were at work on all those days that you missed. Now, I know I'm starting to rant a little bit, but this is really a sore subject, at least when I'm speaking from my perspective as a sales manager. I need people there. I don't care if you got a hangover. I've worked many of days with a hangover. I'm not proud of it, but I did it. And, there are some days I wake up and I don't feel 100%. But I know a lot of people that wake up feeling 100% and only come to work and give 50%. So if you're not feeling 100%, that's okay. You weren't going to come in and give it your all anyway. I'm speaking to some of you, because some of you are out there doing what you need to do. You come in with a little bit of hangover. You come in with a little headache or a little cough. Now, okay, I understand you got to wear a mask, COVID this, COVID that. But if you're faking it, you're hurting the dealership, your team, your family, and everybody else that depends on you. So take your day off if you've earned it. Now, here's the other thing I want to talk about. The one thing, or one of the most bothering things that I have to deal with, are salespeople, salesmen, saleswomen, at the end of each month complain about their paycheck if they didn't hit the bonus number, if they didn't sell enough cars, but they took every single one of their days off. Am I sounding a little bit selfish, saying you should be at work even though it's your day off? Well, I'm sorry. This is the retail commission business. The harder you work, the more money you make. And you can't complain about your paycheck if you didn't give it 100%. And what's even worse, and could cost you your job at my dealership, is if you called in sick a couple of days and still took your day off and complained about your paycheck. Guys, I know one thing, that if you work steady, and when I say hard, I'm not talking about getting dirt under your fingernails or hurting your back. I'm talking about engaging yourself in the processes that you need to engage yourself in to earn money. Talking to your customers, following up with your customers, doing good demos, doing negotiating with your customers, doing all the things it takes to have a professional career. If you're doing all of that stuff, please take your day off, because we want you to come back fresh after your day off and to continue doing what you're doing. This is a tough business. And when I say tough, I don't mean that you're going to hurt yourself. I don't mean that you have to fight with customers. You have to put some effort into it. If you're that person that's waiting for that internet lead or that walk-in customer, you're not the person I'm wanting to take care of. You're not the person. You are the person that's going to take your days off no matter what. You are that person that's going to call in Monday morning after taking your Sunday off, or a Wednesday morning after taking your Tuesday off. You're that person. You need to find somewhere else to go hang your hat. Guys, I want you to understand this. 6 figures is just a little bit of fine-tuning away. That's all you got to do. But you got to take it serious. And if you have to work a little bit extra, a couple extra hours a week to do that, you have to ask yourself, and I really mean this, look in the mirror and ask yourself, is it worth it? Do I want to make 6 figures? And if I do, am I willing to go through the trouble or the work that it takes to get there? Even better yet, ask your wife, ask your kids. See what they say. I love playing golf just like everybody else. I love taking my boat out on the lake just like everybody else. But if I am not going to hit my number, if I'm not going to make the money I need to make that month, then I'm sorry. I'm going to be at work trying to do it. You know, what you need to do then is pat yourself on the back. Nobody else is going to do it. But you know how you get a house deal here and there? You're that one that is working for it. Not the one that's struggling because they're not making it in on their day off. The ones that are there trying to sell cars. I must give out 4 or 5 minimum house deals each month. And I hear it from salespeople all the time about, why don't I get one of those? Well, heck, if you are listening to this podcast, now you know why. So guys, again, I want you to take your day off. That's really important. We all need time to get back, all the energy that we spent on our customers the entire week. It's a stressful career if you let it be. So take the time off. It's your day off. And if you earned it, take it. If you didn't, I'd think twice about it. That's all I got today, this week. So I want you to remember this. Work smart, not hard. And the sky will definitely be the limit. I'll see you next week.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode. Please rate it and write a review on Apple Podcasts. We appreciate your valuable feedback. You can email Terry at 10minutessalestalk@hot.rr.com. And don't forget to share the show with a friend.